Since we're gonna focus mostly on the arms and the upper body, I wanted to just make sure that we're able to stand well, sit well by doing a little bit of back, hips, and legs as we begin. So either sit in a chair if you're being extra kind to yourself, or lay down on your mat, also kind. And in order to open the class today, we're going to focus a little bit on breathing. So first, get yourself into place. Next, start to take some breaths. Just notice yourself breathing. Moment we're just witnessing our own breathing. No need to change it or alter it in any way, just breathing. And this gives us a little quiet pause moment to notice what are you experiencing in your body. So you're focused on your breath. Can you widen your focus to also notice, are there any parts of your body that are making themselves known to you just now? What are you aware of physically? And what are you aware of emotionally? What's present for you? How are you feeling? Remembering that there's something that happens when we name it. We just notice what's there and allow it to be there. No judgment, and no need to change what you feel. Just noticing it and naming it. Now we are going to add a breath exercise or a specific way of breathing. On your next breath, I invite you to breathe in through your nose, but see if you can have the breath reach your belly, right? Use your diaphragm consciously for breathing. So breathe a deep breath in through your nose and see if the diaphragm is involved. You can feel that expansion through the belly. And let it all out. Breathe out through the mouth. And then on the next few breaths, what I'll invite you to do is breathe in to the belly, so diaphragm, also expand the ribs, and then expand the chest. So expand belly, ribs, then chest, and then deflate all the air out through the mouth. Go again. Give that a try. Some deep breaths by expanding belly, ribs, chest, and all out. Do 2 more breaths of any kind. If you're enjoying that one, use that one. If you want to go back to regular breathing, go ahead. Good, and then open your eyes, breathe normally. And ask your body, what does it feel like doing? Do you need to stretch yourself out? I put my water. We're gonna do a couple of back stretches in a moment, but where does your body want you to go here as we begin our practice? And then I invite you to intentionally place your elbow on the ground. So your shoulder to your elbow is coming out in a line from your body across the floor. And then your forearm is in a right angle shape. So we sometimes call this cactus position with the arm. Elbows out from shoulders, hands at right angles. Let's take a breath here, just allowing the arms and the shoulders to settle. And I know that not all of us have arms that touch the ground. Sometimes we're a little bit tight, and that means the elbows can't quite reach the floor, or maybe the hands can't quite reach the floor. So no problem, you're just doing what you can do today. Then we're bending the knees if you're lying on the floor. If you're sitting on a chair, you can just do the leg portion of this, where we cross the ankle of one leg onto the thigh of the other. So that can be done on the floor or on the chair. We're going to leave our arms open in this cactus position. We're going to pick up the foot that's still on the floor, lift it off, bring your hips and your knees towards you, and 3 breaths. Just noticing how this feels today. Before we move out of it, take a micro movement to the left. So you're just rocking your hips the smallest amount, a couple millimeters to the left. Take another breath there. And then to the right, and just the tiniest of movements, noticing if you feel a new spot or get into a nook or a cranny. Good, and then we'll keep the arms where they are and change sides. Now, if you're sitting in a chair to do this, your arms may get tired and you may need to bring them down into your lap, and that's totally fine. So we got the other leg crossed, we're lifting the foot off the ground, 3 breaths. And then that micro movement one way. Micro movement the other way. Excellent. Then hug your knees into the chest using your arms. So you can move your arms from that cactus position. I like to place my hands in between my calves and hamstrings to keep my knees free. Pull those knees in if you can, or if you're sitting on a chair, you'll just do a mini version of this. You'll just use your hands to lift the legs up off the ground a little bit. If you're lying down, you can rock side to side. Good. Then we're extending the arms again, this time all the way long. So long arm from the shoulder on out along the floor. We let go of that right angle. And we're gonna flop our knees. And it's up to you if you wanna put your feet on the ground and flop your knees from there. Or if you want your feet off the ground and flop your knees from here. All are good, they all get into the hips. Let's hold for 3 breaths. Give a little core contraction, giving you the inner strength to be able to lift those knees back to center and then flop them the other way. Let go of the core as you do that. And breathe. Now remembering that if there are poses that you're not able to do on any particular day or with any particular body issue that you have going on, we can't always do all of these poses. And so just a friendly reminder that I believe that even if you sat in one place and just breathed for the duration of the yoga class, you would feel different. And my hunch is you would feel better, even if all you did was intentional breathing, even if you did no movement. So do the movement you can, breathe in the place of the movement that you can't. And I will try and get alternative poses as well. Let's contract the core, bring those knees back up. Then we're gonna bring the arms in again. This time we're gonna take the fingers and interlace behind just one leg. Extend the other leg long along the floor. So we've got one knee pulled into the chest. We've got the other leg lengthened long along the ground. Maybe you'll start to feel a little bit of a tug in the hip flexor of the leg that's laying on the ground, and that's all we're doing. We're not doing the core strengthener part of this. We're not lifting the leg off the ground and holding it. We're just letting it settle and breathing. Good, with the using the same legs, so the legs are gonna stay as they are, except the one that you've got in your hands is going to extend toward the sky. So we're extending that one foot skyward, flexing the foot if you can, and keeping the fingers interlaced behind the hamstring, or alternately, you could just grab your pants, so you can hold your pants if your fingers don't reach all the way around. And let's try a little pointing of the toes, flexing of the foot. Let's see if we can really get into that back of the leg. Breathe as you need to. And then let's do some ankle circles with the foot that's reaching for the sky. You're circling around one direction. Some stretching there for the foot and the ankle. And then change directions. Good. Pull that back in. Lay it back down and bring the other leg in. Interlace your fingers. The other leg now. Couple of breaths, just settling here. One leg extended, the other leg in. Same as last time, we're going to extend the leg that you're holding with your hands so that the heel is reaching skyward, holding as we get that stretch for the back of the leg. Do some pointing and flexing. And some circles with the foot. Change directions. Good, and hug those knees back into the chest. And again, a little rocking. In summer, sometimes we're wearing different shoes, so our feet can appreciate having a little love, a little stretching out. All right, turn yourself over and lay on your stomach. Unless, if you're not on the floor, if you're on a chair, then what I'll encourage you to do as the alternate is you could stand with your hands against a wall. So you're either laying on the mat, on your belly, hands under your shoulders, or if you don't want to lay down today and you're standing with your hands against a wall. As usual, we want to take a moment to just settle ourselves here. Take a breath to let go of your weight, giving your weight to gravity. Letting the body assume this position, resting the weight of your head on your chin. So we've done this one lots before, but reminder, we've got the hands underneath the shoulders. That means the elbows are off the ground. And the elbows are tucked in close to the body like little wings. Resting the head on the chin. We want to keep the core relaxed, belly relaxed, back relaxed. No work happens there. All the work is going to happen in the arms and the hands. So this is our first strengthener. Start to use the strength in the hands and arms to push your chin and chest up, not high. We do not have to go for a big movement here. It's just slowly up and slowly down. If you're able to do 6, that's a good place to begin. If you're able to do 1 or 2, then that's good enough. We're working with arm strength as soon as we do this position. After that's complete, touch your chin, touch your forehead so that you extend the back of your neck and relax your arms. Come on out of the pose, rock your hips, take a breath. Good, and then push yourself up into a seated position. We're going to work on our neck openers, as we often do. So totally fine to be sitting on a chair again, or sitting on your bolster or on your mat, any way that you're comfortable. Yeah, let's ground ourselves, find your sit bones. Take that moment to feel the contact between your body, your sit bones, and whatever you're sitting upon. Lengthen your spine from there. From your knees to your neck. And now let's take an ear. One ear up to the sky. And two big breaths as we bring a beautiful opening to the neck. Our necks are always overworked. Breathing in through the nose and all the way out through the mouth. To the other side. Our necks and our shoulders are, of course, so connected that if we're going to do any kind of arm and shoulder work, we want to make sure the neck feels open. Let's do 2 breaths on this side. And both sides twice. Slowly, intentionally to the first side. Stay present for your 2 breaths. The other side. And slowly to center when that feels complete. Good, we're gonna do more for the neck, so we're gonna come back to something similar, but first, we're gonna take one arm across the body. You're using your bottom hand to hold the top elbow and give it a pull. Starting to get that lovely stretch through the back of the shoulder. And then we'll turn the head to look past the shoulder, getting a stretch for 2 big breaths. Paying extra attention to what you feel in the neck, in the shoulders, and in the arms. Bring your head back to center, let go of the arm, pick up the other one. Give it a tug across. Drop the shoulder down. And let's turn the head to look the other way. 2 big breaths. Bring the head back to center, let go of the arms. Extend those arms again, back of the wrists on the knees or hands beside you. And drop your chin toward your chest for 3 breaths. Walk the eyes across the floor. up the opposite wall. And across the ceiling, as far as your eyes want to take you, open your mouth and breathe. And walk those eyes back. Once again, until your chin is on or close to your chest. But here, we're going to do a little freestyle time. What I mean by that is you can hang your head forward and breathe more. Or you can take your neck into some micro movements, maybe a little to the right, a little to the left. If you like doing a full neck roll, this would be a chance to do that. So explore, where does your neck want to go? Where are the knots that your neck is experiencing? Can you find them and breathe into them? And as you discover those neck knots, also notice if you're feeling anything into the shoulders or the shoulder blades, into the upper back. You know, where are the connection points? Tight spot in the neck leads to a tight spot where else? You want to breathe into those places. Four moments here. For any other neck opening opportunities. And then from wherever you are, roll your neck back to the pose where we're gazing downward. Chin is on or close to the chest. Take one more breath there. And then let your head float back up. Good. Let's grab a sip of water here. And just do anything you need to reset your neck. Sometimes once we've done a lot of neck rolling or neck work, sometimes it feels good just to look side to side. Reset. Excellent. The next arm strength pose we're going to do is one we've done lots before. Take one arm out in front of you, take the other arm off to the side of you. Drop your shoulders down. So simply by lifting our arms up and holding them, you know, because you've done this before, that the longer we hold, the more strength is required in order to hold our arms up. And so even just any amount of this is an arm strengthening position. So we're going to hold a little extra long today to challenge ourselves. Let's turn our heads to look past the fingers that are reaching to the side. Let's continue to drop our shoulders down. And I should have mentioned that the hand reaching to the side has the palm facing up. Now we're going to take a little twist, keeping the right angle in the arms. We've twisted only an inch or less towards the back. 3 big breaths holding here. Breathing to expand the chest. Feeling our way into any knots that exist here in the shoulders or the shoulder blades. Good, and if you can do it without bringing the arms down, we're simply going to change direction with the arms, but if possible, not let them drop. So the other hand comes out in front, the other arm off to the side, the hand now pointing forward has the palm facing down. The hand now pointing out to the side has the palm facing up. Shrug your shoulders down. Look past the side fingers and take a little twist the other way and hold 3 more breaths. Well done, come on back. And now shake them out, let them drop. Excellent. Whatever amount you were able to hold there, that required strength. So perhaps you've already surprised yourself, but I'll just offer that up. Excellent. We're going to open up the forearms and the wrists now. You can do that lots of different ways, but I'll invite you today to reach one arm in front of you and take the other hand and press against your fingers, your thumb, maybe a little bit onto your palm, so that you're getting a stretch on the inside of the forearm. Anybody used to watch Spider-Man cartoons from the 80s where he would shoot his web out of his wrist? Can you hear the noise in your mind? You know, this is what we're doing. We're making that same movement, pressing on our fingers and palms to open up the wrist web shooting part of the body. Take a couple of breaths there. And you might notice that if you use the hand that is pushing to press the thumb, you might get a little extra stretch for parts of the tendon or parts of the wrist. Excellent. So we're going to do the other way now. Instead of opening up the front of the forearm, we're now opening up the back of the forearm by pressing on the back of the hand. So same hand that's pressing now on the back of the other hand, and breathing into this stretch. And we consciously still keeping our shoulders low. As we press, we don't want our shoulders to creep up to our ears. Breathing. This is the one that's still really sore for me, but I am supposed to be stretching it. So you can feel a little tightness there. Know that in my case, it's the kind of tightness that is helped by stretching. Good. Shake out that arm. Maybe make a little wrist circle there. And using the same arm, we're going to do one more move. Make a fist with your thumb curled on the inside of the fingers. So gentle fist with the thumb on the inside of the fingers. And then, I hope you can see me, maybe kind of closer to the camera. We're going to move the wrist side to side. So it's a very subtle movement. You're not going very far, but you're moving. If you keep your wrists straight up. Then you're moving to the side, tipping toward the thumb side, and then tipping towards the pinky side. This was the test that I had to do when they were identifying that I had a tendon problem in my thumb. And so just keeping those tendons really loosened and aware of them. Good, shake that out and let's do all of that on the other side. With the other hand now, we're pressing against the fingers, against the thumb, a little bit on the palm. Getting that opening for the forearm, Spider-Man style, take a couple of breaths. Good, and then turn it over, we're gonna press on the back of the hand. And you're always, in all of these poses, you're noticing, how is this side the same or different from the first side? Good, so give that a shake. Give a little rotation, wrist rotation, a few circles there. And then again, let's do that same activity where you curl your thumb on the inside of the fist. And with the arm straight, you're now tipping towards the pinky side and tipping towards the thumb side. So this is my more flexible arm. I can go quite a bit further than I can on the one that had a little bit of injury. Good. Shake that out. Okay, great. Let's come to standing. Of course, have water anytime on these summer days. And we're going to step forward with one foot. It's a small-ish step. So we've got the front knee bent, the back leg straight. We're pressing the heels into the ground. And we're also going to take the opposite arm as the knee is forward and give it a bend behind us. So bringing our elbow up high and using the free hand to press on that elbow simultaneously as we press our heels into the floor. Stretching through the arms here for 3 breaths. Good, open up into cactus position, elbows out at shoulder height, hands at right angles, and spread your fingers wide. Fingers also need to stretch, and this is an opportunity. 3 breaths as you drop your shoulders low. Use the breath to expand through the chest. Good, bring the arms in, shake them out. Change sides. Another foot steps forward. All feet, all toes are pointed forward as well. Opposite arm as your forward knee and give a press to the elbow for 3 breaths. This all could be done on a chair as well if you didn't want to do the standing part, the legs. Open up those elbows, stretch those fingers, spread them as much as you can spread them, and breathe. Shoulders dropping, dropping, dropping. Good, bring them in. Switch your legs again. So the other foot comes forward. And this time, okay to have the back foot a little bit, instead of the all toes facing completely forward, the back toes could be a little bit angled. We're going to make this move, so we're going to bend the front knee a little bit more. Imagine your center of gravity lowering a little bit. You want to feel really stable through the feet, or sitting in a chair, that also stabilizes you. And we're going to press now as though we were pushing away a wall, or pushing a car uphill, whatever pushing imagery you'd like to use. We're going to push our hands, because that again gives us a unique stretch, that ability to tilt your fingers where your fingers are aiming skyward, but your wrist is getting that bend, pushing. And then the alternate is we're pulling, making a little fist and pulling in towards our midsection, where my fists and wrists end up at waist height. Don't worry too much. We're going to get into the flow of it. We're not trying to go for perfect. We're just trying to go for movement. So as you breathe in, we're going to pull, wrists in, elbows back. As we breathe out, we're going to push those hands away from us. And we're going to get active with it. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out, push. So go your own pace, but be forceful. One more. Good, shake that out. We're gonna do it again, but with the other leg forward. Big legs. Reground your feet, bend that front knee. This week, I had to move my fridge because I had to defrost the freezer. And so you are strong. You also are capable of pushing your fridge. Let's push it. Pull in. Push. Any pacing, but use force. One more of each. Excellent. Shake that out. Get a sip of water. Lots of breath work there. We're going to use an eagle pose now, both to stretch arms, but also offer up a balance option. Though, again, if you're sitting in a chair, totally great to do your eagle seated instead. You take one arm across the body, take the other arm wrapped way underneath, touch your fingers to your palm, your thumbs pointed at your nose. And if your arms don't do this today, maybe they can do this instead. Hold the opposite shoulder with each hand. Great, so for anyone who wants to be doing the balancing part, find something to stare at. Anchor your eyes. Start by pulling your elbows a little bit away from your chest for a breath. Lift your elbows to shoulder height. Keep your shoulders low for a breath. Bring your elbows back down and cross one leg over the other. Sit low, tucking your chin. And if you are wanting to balance, lift the toes off the ground. Hold 3 more breaths. Enough. Good, let that go. I thought I was balanced, and then I was not. Bring the other arm over. Other arm reaches around. Good, fold those elbows away and breathe. Elbows to shoulder height. Breathe. Back down, and now add balance the other way. Cross whatever leg hasn't been crossed yet. Sit low, in your chin, and balance. Good. Come on out of that and shake it out. Excellent. I'm gonna do one more shoulder rotation here, just a really simple one. So if you're sitting on a chair or standing, we're gonna hold the hands at the shoulders. And then starting with the right, we're just taking your elbow forward and up, and then a big circle around back to center. And then do the other side, other arm, elbow comes up, and then circles back to center. And that's the move. We're just doing one at a time. The biggest circle that you can make, all while holding the hand on the shoulder. If it feels possible, you can try both at the same time. If you're standing, remember to keep your knees bent. So gentle. And then we're going to change directions. Start by bringing the elbows back, and then up, and then forward. Notice if you hold your breath. Are there areas that are tight? Or alternately, notice if this feels pretty easy for you. One more time around. Good. And shake that out again. Excellent. So we're going to come down to do a little bit of strength-based stuff. And you can do all of these against a wall. So if you don't want the, I'll give lots of options. One of the options is find a wall that you can lean on, because that always allows for all sorts of strength-based options. Coming down, first to hands and knees. Make a decision about whether you want to be on your flat palms, taking weight that way, or if you're being a bit cautious with your wrists and you'd rather be on your fists instead. All good. We're just gonna hold here for a moment, getting ourselves into positioning with our hands underneath our shoulders, our knees underneath our hips. We'll do a little bit of core here by contracting the core, lifting one hand to hover, lifting the opposite knee to hover, and just hold still. Just hold. Notice if there's a wobble today. If you're feeling strong, you can start to extend the limbs. We're not going for height, you don't have to have the hand and leg as high as possible. We're going for stability. So control, bring those back in. Resettle yourself, hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Contract your core again. Hover the opposite hand, opposite knee. Notice how stable they feel on this side. Feel stable? Go ahead and extend limbs. If not stable, then just stay in the hover. And we're going to do that again. So this is arm strength, right? It's also the core strengthener, very much so. But anytime we put weight onto our arms, ask our arms to hold weight, we are doing arm strength stuff. Or when we lift our arm up and hold it in space, we're doing arm strength stuff. So in yoga, we do arm strength all the time. So many poses use strengthening arms. Let's back in, the other side. Often though, some of the other parts of the pose are more challenging. So we don't pay as much attention perhaps to the strength that we're creating in the arms. But I assure you, you have been creating arm strength as part of your yoga practice for years. Bring that back in. Okay, so I'm going to challenge you today we're just going to do a plank, but we're going to hold it a little bit longer. So you're going to time us. So you need to make some choices about where you'd like the plank to be held. Could be hands flat. Could be full traditional plank, full body off the ground, parallel. Could be on forearms. Could be knees down. All of these are great. It doesn't matter which one you choose. We're going to attempt to hold for 1 whole minute. So pick your plank. Don't pick the hardest one. Pick a challenge for you, but something that you think you can do. And let's begin. Now, of course, you know immediately that your plank is asking for strength in the core as well as the arms. Because we're holding longer today, there's also a psychological element, right? There's the shock of, oh no, a whole minute. How are we going to do it? Is it even possible? Sometimes I will try and trick myself, even though I'm aware of what I'm doing, and say, okay, imagine that we were going to hold this plank for 5 minutes. And so if you thought you were going to hold the plank for 5 minutes, and then I told you that the minute was up, you'd be like, oh, okay. And in fact, we are done. Come on out of your plank and settle yourself into a releasing pose of any kind. So that might be a pose of child, or if you don't want pose of child, pick anything that feels restoring. And let's hold for 5 breaths. And round yourself back up. So congratulations for any amount that you did. If you did the full minute, fantastic. If you did part of the minute or some alternate version that was accessible to you today, again, let's acknowledge the work that happened there. We'll do another releasing pose here, stretching open pose here, coming to hands and knees. Take one hand, we're threading the needle. Taking the hand in between, the other hand to the knee. We're gonna reach until we're laying on the side of the head. One shoulder down. Taking lots of breaths to expand into the upper back and the shoulders. Come on back up. And do the other side. Thread the needle the other way. And reach. Lying on the side of your head. And breathing. Noticing what you feel in the body. Where do you feel it? Good. Come on back up. Great. We're going to take a dolphin pose today. So it's very similar to downward dog, but instead of having the arms straight, the arms are down on forearms. So taking your forearms down, you can interlace your fingers, ensure that your elbows are a little closer together than you think they should be. So elbows under shoulders, but narrower rather than wider. Once you've got that strong base of your arms, beautiful triangle, very supportive, curl your toes and lift your hips up high. Now, if that feels like too much today, just like the downward dog alternate, you have the option of just extending one leg, anchoring your toes to the mat, pressing back with the heel, and then doing the other side when you're ready. So it's the one leg pressing back at a time, or pressing those hips high into the sky and far back. Put the weight into the forearms. Your arms are strong. You've got a beautiful tripod that is keeping you secure and stable, allowing you to press your hips way, way back. And then if you like, you can do that little bicycle move where we press one heel at a time toward the floor, lengthening each leg. Breathe as you hold. This is work. Breaths to sustain it. And bring those knees back down and settle back into pose of child or any other restoring pose. And come on back to center. Excellent. The next arm strength we're going to use is for a regular downward dog. Remembering that you have also the option to do it on a chair. So just remind you, you can downward dog on a chair. Essentially brings the floor closer to you. So instead of having your hands on the floor, you have your hands on the chair. And then you just play with the positioning, getting your hips as far back from your hands as you can. So you may have to practice, okay, how does it feel if I bring my feet a little closer? How does it feel if I step back a little further? What gets the stretch through the arms? Because you're holding onto the chair, you're using strength. So downward dog on either chair or right onto the floor. Start with hands underneath the shoulders, curl your toes, and send those hips up. And then again, a little bicycle option, pressing one heel at a time towards the floor. Pressing those hips as far back as you can press. Fingers are spread so that the weight is taken by the pads of all the fingers as well as the palms. Press again. Good, and then come on out of it. And again, choose any pose that feels good to restore. 5 more breaths. Beautifully done. Excellent work. We are ready for Shavasana. And then we'll follow that up with a shoulder rotation lying on the floor. So you can choose Shavasana sitting or Shavasana lying on the ground. And knowing that we'll move to a shoulder rotation afterwards. Find the points of contact you have with the ground. Your body. Feel the surface below you. Lengthen your spine. Close your eyes if that's comfortable. And start to breathe. As we did at the beginning of class, just notice your breathing. Don't have to change anything yet. Just paying attention. Each breath in, each breath out. Completely fine to spend your Shavasana simply breathing, mindfully breathing. If you like, you can also add what we added at the beginning of class today, where you're breathing in 3 parts, filling up the belly, the ribs, and the chest. And breathing all of that out. You like the belly, the ribs, the chest, all out. You do that for the next 3 minutes. Feels natural. See if you can slow down your breath even a little more. Finish up the breath that you're breathing. And then take 3 deeper breaths. Body, any way that feels good. If you're already lying down, then you just need to turn onto your side. You do need to have enough space to be able to make a full circle with your arms. So some of us may need to adjust our mats. Lay on your side, propping up your head any way that feels comfortable to you. Start with both legs outstretched so that you can tell yourself it's the top knee that's going to bend and anchor onto the floor. The top hand is going to touch the top knee. Going to drag along the floor in front of you, starting to make a circle from your knee up to your head And it's gonna go as far behind you, make as big a circle as you can make with your knees still on the floor. When you get to your bum, pause and go back the way you came. If this causes any pain in the shoulder, do what we did earlier. Hold your hand on the shoulder and do it that way. Make a circle with a slightly more controlled range of motion. 4 of these all together. Breathing through. Noticing the stuck spots, the tight spots. And let's turn over and do the other side. Okay, and make the head comfortable. It's the top knee that's bent, anchored to the ground in front of you. The top hand starts at the top knee, goes in a circle. It's your bum, pause, and go back the way you came. 4 times. So as you're doing these circles, you're gonna get a little pep talk from me. You are strong. You are strong in lots of ways. You are strong from inner strength, from a life filled with challenge that you've had to meet in all the ways that you've had to find to get through things. You are strong in your body because you keep coming to yoga, and I know you do other things like walking or other exercises and activities that keep you well. That doesn't mean we're perfect. That certainly, you can still have weak areas or weak times where the body is not functioning the way we hope, but you are strong. So come on to sitting when that feels complete. In particular, because in yoga, as you know, we do lots of core poses. So you are strong in your midsection. You've got strong core because we work on it all the time. And you've got good positioning because we know how to stand well by bending our knees, contracting our core, standing with a tall spine. We have good positioning to be well grounded, to be rooted on the ground, to be standing in good, stable positioning with good inner core strength, good inner fortitude, and all of that is also part of arm strength. If you use all of those components and then try to push a bridge, you push a bridge. Especially if you had wheels. All right, let's sit. Find your ground. Lengthen your spine. Bring your hands together so we can close classes together. And I invite you to bow your pointer fingers to your third eye and acknowledge your strength, inner and outer strength. Acknowledge all the strength that you have. Your hands to your heart, acknowledging that we are all stronger in community together. We're stronger when we ask for help, when we do things with others, when we relate to all our relations. Take a breath. Namaste.